Hello, hello. Expecting Pastor Tim to join me. I hope he could join. Um, well, I'm just waiting. Let's see. Oh, all right. Hello, Pastor Tim. So let's see. I'm gonna request. Okay, Tim. I just waited you. I just. Hello, hello,
Look how
hello.
well you did. You did it.
I'm doing it one day at a time. So good to
Yes.
see you.
So
And
Joseph's
thank
going
you
to
for
tell
doing
people that
this.
we're on. Joseph's going
Okay.
to tell people that we're on.
Okay. All
And
right.
what a privilege.
Oh my God, what a privilege. Here, I'm containing myself, lots of meditation, lots of journaling, because beloved Pastor Tim is giving me his time. I love you. Thank you for everything you're doing for all of us.
Well,
You are
real friends.
blessed.
See, look at one of my young friends just joined all the way from Canada.
Oh my
And then
God,
there's Eric.
awesome.
He just joined all the way from San Diego.
Awesome.
So they're gonna come. The people are
Well,
coming.
Well, you look great in green, by the way. I love the green. You always wear black, like me. I'm wearing black because I was going to coordinate with you, and now you're wearing black. I mean, green.
I'm being challenged. I'm being challenged on the black. Somebody last week said, you need more colorful colors. It brings out some dimensions in your skin. So here we go.
I like it. Actually, I like it. It's a very nice green. I like it.
So I was, as people are coming on, I just want to brag about you a little bit. Obviously, you do a lot of crisis counseling, crisis intervention, and we are obviously in the middle of a crisis. So you are busy, busy, busy right now. But not only are you busy, but you're prepared. So a lot of people are not prepared to go through the crisis. And so, in my opinion, they become very passive rather than proactive. And so maybe we can dialogue a little bit about that. But you also do a lot of marriage counseling. And I know a lot of people needing that because they've never been this close to their spouse.
Very true.
They didn't know their spouse had all these habits.
Uh-huh. They're learning new things about each other that they didn't even know.
And do you help single people too?
Oh yes. Oh yes. It's everybody. It's a crisis. It's a crisis. So
Yes.
I'm gonna
So
wait for you
I
to.
say we just start talking a little bit now,
Okay.
anything you want to dialogue about, because what will happen is that we'll find a way to keep this flowing. So
Okay.
even after we've recorded it, the people from our following will see the wonderful
Okay.
things that you are doing.
Well, thank you for the acknowledgement and the praise that you started this whole thing with. I appreciate your support and your encouragement throughout my career. Um, as you know, I'm a believer, and I think that's how we got connected. Thanks to Oprah and Super Soul and you and Jesus, of course. So, anyways, it's a bad situation out there, and we cannot deny it. It is what it is. But what I tell my clients is, crises outside are out of our control, but crisis internally we could manage every day. And those
Ah,
are basic stuff that, as a normal human, we all go up and down and have daily crises anyways. So if you are prepared internally, you could be prepared for any crisis out there. Of course, I don't want to minimize the financial crisis and everything else, the health crisis that COVID-19 has been creating for everybody. I don't want to minimize that. But in general, clients that are coping okay, or people that are coping okay, they have like a very, very good, strong coping skills with crisis. And what I'm trying to actually like break it down in steps right now, I think what I do with my clients when there's crisis outside of your control, first let's acknowledge and have actually compassion for the crisis. I know it's very
Yeah.
odd, but instead of fighting and being angry at the crisis, why don't we just have compassion and just say, you know what, it is what it is. It is the universe, it's the God, it is what it is. So, and after we have the compassion, I honestly think the nervous system calms down, and instead of being in the crisis fire flight mood, we kind of could see the picture more calm. Then we go to the second step, which is courage. And when we have courage, we start seeing and doing things that we didn't think we are capable to do. So when we come to the courage stage, then we have some kind of a clarity. So I think with crisis comes courage, and with courage comes clarity. And I think with clarity comes confidence. Because when you are clear about your calling, when you are clear about your values, then you have the confidence to be creative. That is number 5, C, confidence. No, confidence was
Yes.
4, and creativity is number 5. So at the end of the day, I try to look at this whole issue with a completely different set of glasses. Instead of seeing it black, I want to see it more colorful and more accessible to my own creative side. And I know everybody talks about pivot, 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 and I know everybody else is getting tired of hearing pivot, pivot. But I want to say we could pivot not only in our profession, in our families, in our skills, like become a good cook, become a guitar player, become a good
Yes.
gardener, you know, all those stuff. So that's my couple sentences about crisis, but we could go deep, but I want to allow you
No, I
to
like
ask.
that. But give me another term for pivot. I think a pivot also is a transition, right? And
Of course.
and that in the midst of a crisis, you have to pivot or you have to transition. But I'm loving what you said. So you went crisis, then you went courage, clarity, confidence, creative. And I so agree with you that some of the greatest songs, some of the greatest books, greatest plays, greatest companies have evolved out of a crisis. And it's not anything that we would ever want to order from life's diner to go through a crisis. But at the end of it, amazing creativity can come. And maybe you can tell us why that is.
Definitely. I'm going to start with my 3 P's. Now, pivot is going to be my 4. So with
Okay?
pain, I think with pain comes progress. With progress, it comes power. And with power, it comes pivot. So right now, we all in pain. We cannot deny the pain. It could be pain of finances, losing health, whatever. So in the pain, as you always talk about, is that's when we grow. I mean, as you say, we don't ask for the pain, but it
Yeah.
comes to us because God believes something is going to come out of that pain that is going to make us powerful. And when we get into that stage that we feel like we have the power, we could pivot. And yes, pivot is a transition. And we cannot just jump into a pivot and say, okay, everybody's doing pivot, I need to pivot. No, 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 no. First,
Yeah.
we need to process the grief. I think everybody is very sad. Everybody, the whole world is sad about this. So we're going to process the grief. We're going to curse. We're going to cuss. We're going to write about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to cry about it. We're going to name it, whatever we want. And when we clear everything from our mind and our soul, then that is the time that I think we accept it is what it is. So let me transition to something else. I have a client that she was an amazing chef. She had the most successful catering business. She was booked all the way through December 2020, and I'm not exaggerating. Every weekend, this woman does
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And you know what she's doing now? She is delivering food. She pivoted to completely make foods and deliver it like 12 hours a day. And she says she's making more money. Honestly, she says
Yes.
she never thought she would become this humble, let the ego go. But
Wow.
instead of firing, you know, all these employees. They had a meeting and they said, you know what, let's just deliver. Let's just cook the most amazing, you know, food and just take it to the people. So, you know, she had to really transition to something
Mhm.
else that at first it didn't sound good. It was against her ego. And now, you know, she says, I'm surviving, I'm making the money, and I'm keeping my clients happy. So I think that could be one of the ways I would explain pivot. It doesn't have to be anything huge. It could be in your own field, but something a little bit different. Zahra, is pivoting to do social media and digital, you know, therapy stuff. I've never done it in the past. Never.
Yeah, and I want to
I
hear
always,
more about that.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Zara,
because
I
I'm
think that
like you. I like people. I like interaction. I like to be with my clients in the room, praying, holding hands. But you know what? I need to pivot. So I'm writing my courses online. I'm writing a book. I am really forcing myself to be out there in social media and just challenging myself to pivot. What if these things go on longer? What are we going to do if it's going to go on for another 12 months? Am I going to stay here and feel sorry for myself that I don't get to see my clients face to face outside? Or do I need to be creative and dig in and let the
that's
ego
very,
go
very good.
away? Yeah.
Very good. So one of the things I like that you said is that we have to understand that the grief will come.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have to allow the grieving period to go. And as you know as well as me, you know, when something or someone dies that you are very close to, the average grieving process is at least 2 years, and grieving is like an inner groaning. And I feel like some people are not really dealing well with the grieving process of this loss. And
Mm-hmm.
people may say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, just be positive, or this too shall pass. But tell me more about why it's important to, you know, explain that I
Mm-hmm.
am in pain and I feel lost and I feel like crying and I haven't been able to sleep. Why is
Mm-hmm.
it important to express it?
Because we are human. We are not God. We are born to feel some weaknesses. And throughout, you know, sharing our weaknesses and our vulnerability with our loved ones, with our friends, with our even audience, that's how we build more trust and love. As you know, I coach. I mean, not coach, you are the number one coach. I'm going to stop talking about coach. I provide therapy. Oh, Pastor Tim, the most, I mean, I've been like talking about you forever. So the most amazing coach in Hollywood and all the celebrities in the world is here with me. So I'm so honored that you are sharing this time with me. But what I want to say is, you know, I provide therapy for some very, very successful, high achiever people that, you know, they are in their A game 24/7. They create, they
Yeah.
perform, they travel, they do the, they're falling apart too. I mean, they call
Yeah.
me and they're in the ground and they're like, you know what, I'm having a bad moment. Am I losing it? What's happening? I say, you know what? No, let's get the emotions calm. Let's validate the feelings. Let's don't ignore the feelings, because by ignoring it, it's not going to go away. But I encourage my clients and myself and everybody that is watching, throwing a pity party 24/7 is not going to help anybody.
Yes. So
So
listen,
have a limit.
thank you for saying that I'm good at coaching.
You're
But
amazing.
when I need the higher level, who do I go to you.
Thank you. You
So
are a good
I send her many celebrity clients, and the reason for that is that she is fantastic. And like, let's say this. Remember the Rubik's Cube that you tried to get this
yeah.
thing together?
Yeah.
And then many times, you know, life is like a Rubik's Cube. I really feel like God gave you a gift, Zara. But secondly, you've worked so hard to understand humans, the way we work, the way we function, and you're very patient with people. And I feel like that's what all of you that are watching now, you need. You need someone who's patient with you. And you may not be what you want to be, but thank God you're not what you used to be. And so, Zara, if somebody needs to work with you, what is the best way to contact you?
Thank you for, I have to acknowledge your amazing words of wisdom again. thank you, thank you, thank you for you saying all these wonderful things about me. It's an honor. The best way right now, Instagram. Just for,
Instagram.
go message me and DM me or send me some messages, and I'm very active on it, and it's a new chapter. I mean, yesterday I had an interview set up on my Instagram message section. Like,
Yes.
I am really getting into the system, and it's very interesting. So yes, the best
Oh
way is,
yeah.
yeah.
It's an amazing system, and it takes you worldwide. I mean, because I coach people in all these
Mm-hmm.
various
Mm-hmm.
countries just right from my office. But make sure in DM Zahra, if you're liking what we talked about and what we're talking about, send us some emojis. Zahra, that's one thing. I love emojis.
I
Somebody
know you
give
do.
me some hearts. Give
I
me
know
some
you do.
emojis.
I know you
All
do.
right,
And by
so
the way, I want to join your coaching. I know tomorrow is the deadline for some kind of a registration, and I'm going to join. I am going to join your coaching program. I really mean it, because I've had friends that they did it, and they called me and they said, oh my God, this is the fastest way that I was able to get from A to Z. So
well,
you're going to have a new member tomorrow.
I have a new coaching that's very inexpensive, because what's happened in my life is that I found that I have a lot on my table. So now I have to have larger groups at one time, which I love. So we have a new one, Zahra, that it's only $47 per month. So that's just over $10 a week. And every
Mm-hmm.
Monday,
Mm-hmm.
I get on Zoom and I talk to a group. We put about 50 people in each group. Okay. So every Monday, you'll be in a group of about 50, and we go through a whole workbook. Step by step, we go through things. Then we dialogue about it. And then they get to talk back to me. And that's unheard of with coaches.
Love
I mean,
that,
you're not
because
going
you
to
just
see that.
give, because you're a giver. You are a giver, and you give without any expectation. And I just want to say that I'm really going to sign up tomorrow for that one, and I hear a lot of good things about that program. But one thing I want to say to anybody that doesn't know you and is my follower,
Yeah.
you just give without anything. I mean, I remember I was a huge fan. I'm not going to take your time. Find you in Oprah crying about everything you were saying, because I think every person has a setback. I think that's part of being a human. If someone
Yeah.
is in their 30s, 40s, even 20s, as you know, some of us, everybody could have the setbacks. But the way you talked that day in Oprah completely touched me. I got the book and I got to meet you. And I remember I asked you, I need help with something. And you said, what is your phone number? And I'm like, he's not going to call me. And then I'm like sitting and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, honestly, I was like, and that's how you are. And I was watching your interview with Sam Bakhtiari, who's from my country. And I love
Yes.
listening to his story about bombing and Iran, because I was there and I'm trying to work on my story for my public presentation. And that brought me to my preparation for my public presentation about my life in Iran, same situation. But the way he said, the way you talked to him, you didn't know he has money. You had no idea he has all those cars.
I had no idea when I met
No
him at
idea.
all.
No idea. You just saw a guy walking with a stroller and a wife, and you said, call me. And I mean, it was just so magnificent that you do that. So I want to say thank you for giving all of us hope and always connecting people. And it's such an honor to be in this moment with you. I'm going to journal and process all this, because I'm like freaking out. I'm so excited. I journal. I have lots of gratitude. But I'm going to join tomorrow, and I'm really excited. I'm serious.
Well,
Because I
thanks for
know
being
it's
so
in
kind. But
tomorrow.
I want to get back to you on something that you challenged me as a friend, because we're friends.
Uh-huh.
And so Zahra said to me, get some rest. You need some rest. But I love it. You didn't say you look tired, you look terrible. You just said get some rest. Okay? I'm concerned. Now, I didn't know that COVID-19 would give me my health back. So it's the strangest thing that this crisis that I'm dealing with so many of my friends, whether they're ill, I have friends in the hospital, I have friends that are losing their jobs and their companies and losing lots of money. But in the midst of COVID-19, I decided to not just be passive, but to be proactive. And as far as my diet, my sleep, my exercise, everything, taking everything to a higher level. And a friend of mine from New York named Steve yesterday said, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" He goes, "You're bright again. You're alive again."
You are. You really are.
I
And I'm
needed to
so
sleep.
happy to see
I
that.
needed to sleep. I had been pushing myself for 12 months straight, for a year straight, and now I'm taking naps. I'm watching documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching things about things I never even knew of in my life, documentaries. So yeah, we all find our way, right?
Of course, and we need you. That's why I called you that day, because I was like, if something, God forbid, happens to you, what's going to happen to the world? I'm serious. You are a blessing. You are a gift, and you give a lot. And we need to make sure you take care of yourself, and you give to yourself first. But I know it's
Yeah,
hard.
but thank you for challenging me, because that's what the Bible says, that a true friend will at times challenge. And so I promise you, I kept your words in my ear. And I thought, wow, if she's saying it, it must be really showing, because you're very gracious like me. So I listen to you.
Well,
But once
thank you for
again, to work with Zahra, all you have to do is direct message her, and then try to work something out. Her rates are very, very fair for a person who plays at the caliber that she does. But a lot of people, when you get into rates, they sometimes diminish themselves. But I want to tell all of you that are watching and will watch later today and tomorrow, value yourself enough to pay to get help, so you can become a healthier person. Because so many of you have bought expensive presents for people, done a lot of things for people. Do something for yourself and invest in yourself, and life will be a lot better.
love that. Love that. Thank you for saying
Look
that.
at these people. They're saying, "She seems amazing."
Oh, how sweet. I'm
People,
not even
people,
reading that. I'm so excited to be with you
you
here.
got to
I'm
read what the people are
I'm
saying.
dismissing the time,
If you
everything.
love Zahra, just give some more emojis.
Well, that's
Look at
very
these people.
sweet.
They're saying,
Thank
"Thank
you.
you for your time." They're sending you hearts.
Well, I feel honored. I feel very honored, and I will be honored to help anybody that is going
Yes.
through a hard time. This is the time that I think we all need to step up our games and try to add values and be a support system for each other with our gifts, with our talents, with our creativity, if we can. And you do that constantly. And God bless you for that. God bless you for that.
You're welcome. I'm going to go eat lunch. I think you're
Have a
amazing.
wonderful lunch. Thank you for the time, and keep the glow. You're glowing. Keep the glow. Yes, because we need you. Thank you. Thank you so
See you
much.
later.
Love you. Love you. God
Love you
bless.
too.
Thank you. Bye-bye, darling.
Bye-bye.